Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 50 of the NordCast, the Big 50. It is Thursday, April 4th, 2024. I am your host here, Nordic97, joined with Carter. How are we doing today, Carter?
Doing pretty solid. It's almost exam season, so kind of got to lock in for that. But other than that, we've been pretty good so far.
So we were saying Carter might be out of commission for a little bit?
Nope.
Oh, no, he's staying.
I mean, I will say, I will say I am leaving on a trip in like 2-3 weeks, so we may or may not have me for the pod, or you might be having me a little out at sea pod. So we'll see.
Buddy. Another overseas vacation. Then we got Jack here with his laptop charged. How we doing today, Jack?
Yep, I'm doing good. Laptop's at 100%, so we're good.
Good to hear. So, for those who don't know what that means, we actually recorded episode 50 last week, and Jack's laptop kind of corrupted him, just him. So we could have posted it, but it would have just been me and Carter talking to space, essentially, for half the episode. So, it's fine. It's not a big deal. So we'll just do episode 50 again this week. We'll just have to push back our guests back a week. It's okay. Perfectly fine. So again, it's episode number 50 of the NordCast. We've made 50 of these that have been posted publicly. It's been a long run. We've done this for nearly 2 years. We're heading into our second playoffs of the NordCast. So we did this in the episode that got corrupted, but what is your guys' favorite memories over the course of the entire NordCast? I'll let Carter go first.
Well, favorite memory of all time on the NordCast happened episode 1. Mr. Nordic not knowing how to say Achilles and saying Achilles. Probably one of I think that was kind of like where I feel like we all kind of were like, okay, this is like, I feel like we all kind of just like clicked or whatever because, me and Jack clicked because Nordic doesn't know how to say words. I feel like that one was just great. And the fact that he did it a second time too, like, what was it, like a year later or something? A little longer than that, but yeah, that was... That was definitely a highlight for me on the NordCast, I'd say.
Jack, what about you?
For me, it's been all the interviews, but especially McNiven. Just bringing on a pro player, getting the chance to interview him was super cool. And we brought on a ton of other great people, but yeah, just the interviews in general.
We're bringing on someone else next episode. Not saying who, but someone very special. He's actually... I would consider him a level higher than McNiven. So.
It's Nordic's brother. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's Nordic's brother. Stay tuned, guys. I would gotta say my favorite memories, definitely those. Those have been really enjoyable. But definitely another one is Carter's predictions on the Jets, Jack's predictions on the Blackhawks, and just overall your guys' predictions. But also too, another really funny moment for me was the people in Canada have cable. That was really funny. That was awesome. Nope, they don't have cable.
No, that's not a thing here. We're not at all.
Nope, for Jack Volko. But yeah, so I did write down all of the guests we've had over the course of our 50 episode tenure. We've had a total of 6 people on, which to me was surprising. I figured we had more people on, but believe it or not, it took us that long. But we have Michael McNiven was our first guy, a pro goalie. We landed it awesome in our second episode. We got a pro goalie on immediately. We haven't been so lucky after that with contacting players. Neither have I been consistent either. It's not the guy's fault. Michael Bartner, we brought on twice. He's a content creator. I would love to bring on Bartner again at some point. I don't know if it'll be soon, but definitely would love to bring him on at some point. Max Mainville, another content creator. We brought him on early on in the show. LeBlanc James as well was another guy that we brought on earlier on in the show. A great friend of ours, Seth Chase, and we brought him on 3 times. He is a Maryland radio superstar, or whatever you want to call it.
Superstar is a good one, eh? I think he'll enjoy being called a superstar for sure.
Yeah, he will.
And then we brought on Aiden Panay, who was a Discord member. We brought him on, I think, for our Pacific Division. We never even did the Eastern Conference once because we got so busy. But regardless. Those are the 6 people we brought on. I am planning on bringing on a lot of other people, though, within the next couple of episodes. We got one coming on next episode, probably someone on the episode after that, and then maybe another one on within the next couple of weeks. So a lot of other guests coming on the show. I've really been out contacting a lot of people, trying to get people on the podcast. So we're definitely doing good things. And I'm going to admit that there was a time period where it wasn't the guys, it was me that wasn't being the consistent way that I am now. The last month or two, I have been more consistent with this podcast. I have seemed to have put in more effort, and it's shown. It's done really good on other platforms like the Instagram, the TikTok, the YouTube, all that stuff. But there was a time frame where I really wasn't that consistent, and I do apologize for that. And I'm hoping that within the next 50 episodes, we will be able to, obviously have a much better 50 than we did in our first 50. So that's kind of the expectation that we're setting ourselves here. But yeah, for those who have listened the whole way through, thank you all for listening to all of our episodes. It's been a long time that we've been doing this. We've had a lot of laughs, a lot of tears, a lot of horrible predictions, but it's been a fun 50 episode with the guys, and I honestly would not change anything that we do. So yeah, I'm thankful for these boys, and thanks that they would come on with me doing this.
Love you, Nordic.
Of course.
Yes,
of course.
sir.
All right.
Thanks for the invite.
Yep. So we're going to transition into news now. So kind of news around the NHL. We're going to start off with essentially the news that is in regards to like signings and stuff like that. So the Montreal Canadiens today were eliminated from playoff contention. So that just literally just happened. They are now eliminated. So again, not a surprise. I don't think you guys should be surprised by that. They're both shaking their heads. So no, not a surprise. Montreal, though, I feel like they've been better than we thought they were going to be. I feel like we thought they'd be a lot worse. They've been a lot better, more competitive. So I'll give credit to them where it's due there. But obviously, things haven't been great there. Some guys from the NCAA have signed contracts with teams. Sam Lipkin has signed with the Arizona Coyotes. Ironically, he's actually someone who's local to me. He was born in Pennsylvania. He played for a team that's near me. And it's crazy to think that now he's signed by an NHL team. That's pretty cool to see. Additionally, too, Colin Graff was signed by the San Jose Sharks to a 3-year entry-level contract. Kind of surprising here. Graff had 49 points in 34 games played for Quinnipiac. I mean, we don't really talk about college all too often on here. We'll get into the Frozen Four in a second. But getting a guy like Colin Graff for San Jose really helps them out. Like now they have a really good prospect pool. Like you add Graff to Smith, Musty, Edstrom, and the guys they're going to get in this coming draft too, because they're going to have their pick. They're probably going to have Pittsburgh's pick. So things are looking great for San Jose right now. Like a
For sure.
really, really good future for sure. So I don't know. Do you guys know anything about Graff at all?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of followed him. I followed him a lot last year, kind of when I was really big into college hockey last year. I got like heavily into it. He's a terrific player. I was shocked to see him go to San Jose, to like a team that's like not very good right now. Like I kind of thought he'd go to like a team that's like either on the cusp of like making the playoffs or on the cusp of making a deep run. Did not see him going to San Jose, so that kind of came as a shock to me when I kind of got that news. But he's a terrific player nonetheless. He's great skater. He's got a pretty good shot too, I will say. He's great vision as well. So I think that's definitely a huge get for the San Jose Sharks. So
I think he wanted to go to San Jose. Primarily, I think a lot of it will be the spotlight. And there's definitely an open roster spot for him. He's easily going to get into an NHL spot right away. Comparatively speaking to, let's say he went to like Pittsburgh or some team like that, it's going to be much harder for him to get a spot. So that might play a role, but I like him going to San Jose. I think it's a good move. Other guys who have signed, Dylan Wentz signed to the Devils, a free agent forward, actually. He had 23 goals and 44 points with Michigan University, or Western Michigan University. Didn't even know that was a thing. As well as that, too, Yegor Sidorov and Colson Pitre have signed with the Anaheim Ducks, both players from the OHL and the WHL. Nick Lardis signed a 3-year ELC with the Chicago Blackhawks. He was a third-round pick. He has 50 points in 37 games for Brantford. Carter, he's wearing a Canada jersey in this news graphic I'm looking at. Do you know him from Team Canada?
I don't recall. Maybe.
Nick
I don't
think he played in any big tournaments.
He might maybe he played like U17 or something,
Yeah.
or
Maybe
World
that's-
Championships. Maybe World Championships actually.
Oh yeah, Jack, he signed to your team. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't even realize that. But yeah, Lardis, not a bad move there. The Bruins signed Jackson Nelson to a 1-year ELC. He had 31 points in 39 games with the University of Minnesota. He's actually the captain of that team, so not a bad move there by Boston. And lastly, Jacob Quillen signed a 2-year ELC with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Another guy from Quinnipiac. He had 46 points. Another solid player there. Added to the Maple Leafs roster. So yeah, those are all the guys that have signed in the NCAA. I want to transition now over to the Frozen Four since we're in the conversation of college hockey. The Frozen Four is Michigan, Boston College. Who else?
BU.
I'm blank. BU
Yeah,
and Denver.
Yeah.
So Denver, both Boston colleges, and then Denver. So our predictions were terrible. I just want to say that.
Hey,
Carter's was fine.
I went 3 for 4. I went 3 for 4. All right.
No, Carter's was okay. Me and Jack's were Jack had
That
North
was a
Dakota.
complete guess from me. I do not watch college hockey, unfortunately.
Hey,
Took
fair enough.
UND all the way to the Natty, and they're out first round.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's a tough look.
It was only because of Jonathan Taves.
Dude,
Fair
UND does have some studs though, man.
Dude,
Man,
I thought they would go far. I figured that they had a really good roster.
Well,
I thought.
I don't know if we'll end up talking about Hobie Baker, but that Jackson Blake kid is unreal.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know I guess we can do Frozen Four predictions again. So out of the teams in the Frozen Four right now, who do you guys think has the best odds to win it currently?
I would say one of the Bostons.
Can it actually come down to the Boston College versus Boston University? Can that happen?
Well, I think so. They're on different sides of the bracket, so I'm pretty sure they can both. Because I'm pretty sure it's Boston College is 1, Michigan will be 4, and then it'll be Denver and BU, and then winners of that I think will play. Because Michigan's technical. Because every other team there's a 1 seed, and Michigan is not. Michigan was like the 9 seed or something, or like the 3 seed in their bracket.
All right. I haven't been too big into college hockey, so I really don't know
Yes,
where teams are placed at. But if there had to be an Hobie Baker MVP, who would it be? Carter mentioned the Jackson Blake kid. There's a lot of options, actually. I feel like
they narrowed it down to 3. It's only 3 now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they announced the hat trick for it. It's Macklin Celebrini, Jackson Blake, and Cutter Gauthier. Fuck Cutter Gauthier. I don't know.
I didn't realize that. Oops.
Yeah, I think it came out today or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, realistically they'll probably give it to Macklin. I'm sure. I know. I talked about this in the episode that we had to cancel or whatever. But I am now shocked that Will Smith was not a finalist for this.
Yeah, you thought that Will Smith could win it, actually.
I genuinely thought Will Smith was going to win the Hobie Baker, and he wasn't even in the final 3. So I guess they take goal scoring a lot into it, and that's why Cutter's there. But I think they'll probably end up giving it to Macklin because he creates so much, and I feel like hopefully they look at more than just points and goals.
Are all 3 of those guys in the Frozen Four? Blake was on North Dakota, right?
Jackson Blake's UND.
Huh. Okay. All right.
The Hobie Baker is league MVP.
Okay. All right. Is Jack? What am I saying? Is Jackson Blake like assigned to a team, or is he a?
So he got drafted by Carolina. I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Now that you say that, he did. I recognize the name now. He did.
Yeah. So he was drafted by Carolina. He has not been signed. I hope he returns for his junior year because he is gonna. He'll win the Hobie Baker next year if he doesn't win it this year.
He's a beast.
He's
I agree.
Gross.
So yeah, Frozen Four, some nice stuff there. Transitioning back over to the NHL and hockey, some good news, I guess. Expect the CHL to announce it is now allowing Russian and Belarusian players back into the draft. So players from Russia playing in Russian leagues and in Belarusian leagues are now able to play in the CHL again. So good news there. It stinks though because I wish the IIHF would allow Russia back in. I know there's a whole lot of things going on with the war and stuff, but I just wish that I could see Michkov play in the World Juniors.
Yeah.
Just really, really unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna come on here to complain about it. In other news, the Coyotes owner Alex Morello has apparently been looking at potential buyers to buy the Coyotes. He's asking for upwards of $1 billion. So a very big price there, but again, shouldn't surprise anyone. For now, though, the report does add that Mr. Morello and the team are solely focused on the land auction and winning the bid and keeping the Coyotes in Arizona. So I feel like I've asked this question so many times, but at this stage, with this arena bid going on, do you guys think Arizona wins the bid or do they relocate? Like, I feel like I've asked that question so much, but
Yeah, it's just been very, very repetitive of just something's gonna happen and then it doesn't happen. So I'm not, an Arizona insider. I don't know what's happening. So I would say just relocate to Salt Lake City or something like that because I know the mayor of Salt Lake City is just he's begging for a hockey team, and they have the arena to do it. I'd say they have enough people there to have an actual fan base. And I think you'd be looking at kind of a Seattle situation where they come in, they get good attendance, good fans, and yeah. So the ideal move for me would go to Salt Lake City. So
Carter.
My turn?
Yeah, your turn, Carter.
You're just pointing straight. I thought you were talking to yourself. Well,
Whatever.
I can't see who you're pointing.
All right. Go ahead, Carter.
All right. Honestly, like, I want them to stay in Arizona. I think that, like, I haven't really been good, like, in Arizona. I feel like we can say that. But, like, I feel like the thing is like, they're on the cusp of being good, and I feel like once they are, the fan attendance will pick back up again, because they have a sports market there. Like, you look at the Cardinals. Like, the Cardinals they pull fans all the time. Like, even though they're bad, they still pull a decent amount of fans, right? The Coyotes just have to be good, and then I think they'll be okay. But it's a matter of, like, it's gone on too long, to where they might have just completely lost faith, and lost the support of, like, the government and stuff. But I mean, as Jack said, relocating to Salt Lake would not be a bad idea at all. I think that there's a market there. People watch hockey there, I hope. So it has a good chance to be successful if they move to Salt Lake. But I think if they also stay in Arizona, there's a good chance as well.
I feel like the thing is that with the Coyotes dealing with all these arena problems, they have just been bad for the whole entire time. The on-ice product has not been great. They haven't made the playoffs since that bubble year, and before that, they didn't even make it since 2012. So this team has never had a consistent on-ice team. But actually, to be honest with you, when I look at, like, Arizona, I see, like, Bill Armstrong, even though he's not a part of Morello and the shady things that go on there. Armstrong's done a really good job at building a really good Coyotes team. They're not in the playoffs just yet, but before that 14-game losing streak that just put them so far out of the freaking playoffs, people forget that they were close for a while. Even at Christmas break, they were in a playoff spot. So this team, I still think they're 1 to 2 more years away from being good, like actually good, but they're closer than people may think. And it's going to stink, too, because if this team relocates to Salt Lake City within the next 1 or 2 years, the team's suddenly going to be good again, and people are just going to think, oh, yeah, Arizona was just terrible. Like, that's just that people are going to think that's why, but it's not. The Coyotes have been building a good team here for the past couple of years. So,
yeah,
honestly, I don't really know what to think at this point. I'm kind of like on the fence with both of you. I kind of feel the same way. I want for them to stay in Arizona, but again, like, it's just like you hear things are going to happen and then nothing happens. So that's kind of what I see from it. In other news, the Seattle Kraken were also eliminated from the playoffs. I forgot to mention that. So Seattle got eliminated. Any surprise? Really, not like that big a surprise.
Not that big, but I feel like it's crazy that, after defeating the defending champs, they just completely fell off.
I kind of feel like they overachieved a little bit. in that run. I don't want to say it was a fluke, but I feel like last year was kind of an overachievement
For sure.
a little bit, and it kind of made people think that this team was further along than they actually are.
Yeah.
Which I like Seattle. Don't get me wrong. I want Seattle to do well, but it just shows that they aren't as close as we really thought they're going to be. But hey, I still think they have a bright future. I feel like, they're in year 3. I don't really think there's still expectations, but hey, all the credit to Seattle. Hopefully next year's a better year for them. Yesterday night, the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils had an absolute war. So at the start of the game, on puck drop, there was a line brawl. McDermott fought Rempe, Kevin Ball fought Goudreau, Lazar fought VC, Marino fought Miller, and Chris Tierney fought Jacob Trouba. And then even that too, Travis Green and Peter Laviolette were arguing with each other, and there was plenty of ejections. 162 penalty minutes were recorded in that game. The NHL record for most penalty minutes in one period of play. Unbelievable. Unbelievable game. We knew that Rempe was going to fight, but we didn't expect the rest of that to happen. So I'm going to ask you guys the question. Do you guys think that line brawls should happen more in the NHL at this point?
Does the NHL want to see it? Probably not. Do the fans want to see it? Absolutely. I don't know if we'll see an increase in it, but hopefully we do see an increase. I want to see an increase. I don't know if we will. But yeah, it was very, very fun to watch. I watched that game. The first period was just insanity. And yeah, hockey games like that are just so entertaining to me, and I'm sure a lot of other people too. So,
Carter?
Oh, man. Line brawls they're the best, honestly. I don't think that there's anything better than that. I think it draws so much attention to the game. Just fighting in general. We talked about this before. Fighting in general brings.
Actually, I want to bring something up. I forgot to say. You were actually someone that in last episode, not the one that got corrupted, but when we brought Seth on, you said that goalie fights need to happen more. So I kind of get why you're on this page. So
yeah.
Keep going. Sorry.
Exactly. So, anyways, fights need to happen more often. Like, seriously, like, okay, fighting doesn't need to happen more often. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they have to stop, like, limiting, like, the amount of, like, fights and stuff. And, like, the NHL is just trying to, like, completely get rid of fighting. Like, it sucks because that brings so much attention to the game because there's no sport in the world other than, like, combat sports, right? Where you can go out there, fight completely legally with 2 people, fight 5 minutes of rest, you're back in the game. There is no sport on earth that allows you to do that with no repercussions other than a 5-minute penalty. No sport does that. That's what draws people to hockey. Like, the amount of posts that, like, I see and stuff of, like, on Instagram, like, sometimes, like, I follow, like, #hockey fights or something. The amount of times I see, like, people being like, whoa, this hockey stuff's awesome. Like, look at all the fighting. Like, why do they allow it? Like, it draws attention to the game. And when it draws attention to the game, when it's a big event, you get social media posting it, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. It draws so much attention to the game through, like, Sportsnet, ESPN, Overtime even posted it. I talked about Pat McAfee, how he's been a big hockey guy lately. Pat McAfee as well. Like, people love to see what our game is doing, and everyone loves who doesn't love a good fight video? Like, let's be real here. Who doesn't love a good fight video? And a 5-on-5 brawl to start a game, not even to start a period, to start the game, you get a 5v5 brawl. That draws so much attention to the game. It probably brings more fans to the games because it's like, oh, I wonder, maybe this will end up happening at some point again too, right? Like, it draws a crowd, right? It draws revenue to the NHL. So if the NHL is really trying to get rid of this, it makes no sense. And my stance on fighting in the NHL is it is the best thing that could ever happen to the National Hockey League.
It really stinks that the Devils are out of the playoffs because I would love to see a Devils versus Rangers first round again.
God.
Yeah, a rematch would be just...
Dude. with the playoff intensity would make that the best playoff series of all time, and it is not up for debate.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like Rempe, oh my God. This man would get ejected every single game. Oh, Savannah Bananas.
Coach Rack.
Okay. Savannah Bananas. Just pull it up on Jack's screen. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you. I feel like, I mean, I get why the NHL is trying to get rid of it, but at the same time, it really does bring a lot of entertainment to the game. It gets a lot of social media posts going, and I'm sure the next time the Rangers play the Devils, even though they don't play for the rest of the year, there's going to be more people watching that game than usual because that's always been a great matchup. But with Rempe and them fighting, oh man!
Imagine that's like your first NHL game that you go to and you just see that.
Yeah, imagine you're a Rangers fan. You're going to your first ever game at MSG last night, and you see all these players drop the gloves. That's got to be amazing. Got to be an amazing introduction to the game. So yeah, I agree. They should keep They should at least in some way keep the line brawls in the NHL in some way. And finally, the final piece of news here I want to bring up is in regards to the Philadelphia Flyers. Ivan Fedotov has come over from overseas. He is now the tallest goalie in NHL history to ever play a game. I don't want to hear nothing about how he's 6'7". He's like 6'7.5", so he's over the limit. So 5 and above, give it a shove. He's 6'8". So essentially, he's the tallest goalie to ever play an NHL game. He played Monday against the Islanders, which led John Tortorella to saying, quote, Fedotov is the only goddamn player who played in the second period. He actually went off on the Flyers and reporters on Monday and said that the team just did not have it in them, and certain people don't have a clue how to play. And that it was embarrassing for the Flyer uniform. That's what he said. So yeah, that was a pretty wild quote. I mean, he's not wrong on a level. I mean, like, you really need to beat the Islanders at this rate in the season. Like the Flyers are getting enough points to where they're staying in the playoffs. They're staying in a spot. But there's all these other teams that are just catching up behind them, and all these other teams that just keep freaking losing. That it's just a whole catastrophe. And now I think they're tied with the Islanders. So that's something that we got to keep in mind there too. Tortorella did come out the day following saying stuff about how, we need to get the mentality back to order, and that I'm not sorry about what I said, and that people think that we're not supposed to be here, and that we did it. We're here, essentially, is what he said. So it was a whole 15-minute press conference where he just talked and talked and talked. It's pretty good, but still, regardless. Carter and Jack, what are your thoughts on Tortorella and what he said, and Fedorov and all that?
I'm not surprised. I mean, you guys are Flyers fans, so you'll have more thoughts than me. But yeah, I'm not surprised. That's just how he is, and very strong personality. So
yeah, for sure. Carter?
Well, I mean, he's not wrong at all. If you watch that second period, the Flyers just fell apart. They switched to being completely flat-footed and just lost everything. Like, they did not look good in that second period. They looked great in the third, but he wasn't wrong for what he said at all. Sam Ersson has not looked good. Fedotov looked pretty solid when he came in. He kind of made up for it, definitely. But Sam Ersson's got to start playing better in net. He's got to play better between the pipes. I think I said this like a while ago too, where I was like, I just don't like Sam Ersson that much. And then he picked up his game, and I started liking him again. That's the life of a goalie. But Fedotov definitely looked strong. In his NHL, I guess you can call it debut, when he came in the second period, but it wasn't really a debut. He didn't start. But I guess that kind of helps when you're 7'8", 6 foot.
Yep.
Bajillion. I don't fucking know.
But you look like you play in the NBA.
Yeah, literally looks like Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
But no, he looked great. Torts wasn't wrong for his comments at all. Fedotov looked good. Ersson didn't look good, and neither did the rest of the Flyers. But hopefully that shit changes.
Yeah, I agree. I really hope the Flyers start picking it up. And last but not least, before we get into our other topics that we have for today, Major League Baseball has started. About a week ago, Major League Baseball, actually exactly a week ago today, Major League Baseball played their first games. How we doing? Cubs fans, Phillies fans, other fans, how we doing? How we feeling?
Go
I'm
Jays.
feeling good.
Yeah, so I mean, nice baseball. I've been watching a lot of baseball recently, trying to get more into that. So
Good.
pretty
Good
good.
to
Jack,
hear.
Jack, Jack approves. Jack approves. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I actually watched Cubs Rockies. You were actually at that game, and that game was boring as hell until the sixth inning when
It was.
they hit a three. So that was pretty nice to see. But yeah, I'm still getting into the game, still learning stuff. But I'm watching other teams and enjoying a lot of it. And Carter's celebrating. Someone scored
4-2.
Oh, buddy.
Velarde
Yeah.
again. Welcome back.
Yep. So also too, the Jets can clinch tonight at the time recording of this video. So
Okay.
Looking good.
like Carter's going crazy. All right, so moving out of news into our award predictions. So we're gonna do our leaderboards or our top 5 for each trophy. So we have 5 awards here. I didn't go through every single trophy. I did the Jack Adams, the Calder, the Vezina, the Norris, and the Hart Trophy. So I asked the guys to write these down so I could see them and upload them later. But I'm gonna let Jack go first, and Jack's gonna give his Jack Adams predictions.
I did not write down my Jack Adams.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh,
I have everybody
classic.
else.
Can you think of 5 coaches, or do we need to come back to you?
Come back to me. You guys go first.
Okay, Carter, go first.
All right. So I got my Jack Adams here. So starting it off, or I'll go 5-1. So my number 5 is going to be Rick Bowness. I feel like I kind of have him in a lot of the time because I feel like every year there's doubt with the Winnipeg Jets. Last year he kind of proved it wrong until the second half of the season. It's kind of almost been the same this year, but I think that they've definitely done better and still with low expectations again. Especially after trading Dubois, no one knew how this team was going to be, so I think he kind of definitely looked good. Fourth, I got Peter Laviolette. I think anytime you're leading the NHL in points, and you probably have a good chance at the President's Trophy, you're going to be on this list. I think he's been a great coach this year, definitely helped the Rangers. And I said that they're not going to do well in the playoffs, but they had a hell of a regular season. Number 3, I got a Knobloch, the coach of the Edmonton Oilers. Again, anytime you take a team from struggling in the dumps to now they're legitimately fighting for a number 2 spot in the Pacific, that's a hell of a job, and you deserve to be on this ballot for the Jack Adams. Number 2, Rick Tocchet. I feel like this one's a no-brainer. No one had hope for the Canucks at all this season. I had them missing the playoffs by a lot. I feel like you guys did too. And there they are, top of the Pacific. And then number 1, Tortorella. I think this one kind of just speaks for itself. Probably supposed to finish last, and now they're fighting for a what's the division? Metro 3 spot or a playoff spot, anyways. So yeah, that's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I like your list. I think it's pretty good. You have generally the same amount of the same guys that I have. I just kind of have it in a different order. Number 5, I have Chris Knobloch. I honestly, he got hired midway through the year, and I don't want to just put him top 3 just because he had an amazing turnaround with Edmonton, but I do think he deserves some credit. I don't think he wins it. I think there's been plenty of other coaches who have been better, but Knobloch definitely on my list. Number 4, I feel like I could have put him higher, but I have John Tortorella. Tortorella for me, he would have been 1 a month ago, but now my only problem with him is that essentially, Philly's kind of fallen off. I mean, if they fall and miss the playoffs, I don't think he wins it. That's why I put him at 4. If Philly makes the playoffs, then I think he has a way better chance at winning it. But yeah, Tortorella probably will be a finalist. Number 3, Pete DeBoer of the Dallas Stars. I think he's had a very impressive, underrated season for Dallas to definitely get recognized for it. Number 2, Rick Tocchet, as kind of what Carter said there. Just Canucks have been a very surprising, great team this year. And then number 1, Peter Laviolette of the Rangers. I think he's done a really good job with New York this year. One of the best teams in the league. Should be the at least the top three for the Jack Adams Award. So yeah, Jack, do you have yours now?
I do. I just wrote top three since I didn't have much time to gather a top five list. But number three, I got Paul Maurice for the Florida Panthers. And they made the Stanley Cup final last year. But I feel like this year, even though they made the final, I feel like a little bit lower expectations this year. But he's taken the team to, the next level of being a competitor year in and year out, and just production from guys you wouldn't really expect it from, which is huge for a contending team. Those bottom line guys he's getting production from. Number two, I got Vancouver with Rick Tocchet, and I think, like Carter mentioned, really no expectations for them coming into the year, and everyone thought they'd be disappointing yet again, like they usually are. Just a mid team over and over again, but he's done a good job of turning this team around, making them really a top five team in the league. Number one, I got Tortorella for Philadelphia. Self-explanatory. You guys went over it. So yeah,
Oh, I might be a little bit too low on Tortorella, I guess.
I
Okay,
think
all right.
you are.
I think
like, you can go.
I was just gonna say I like your reasoning for it though. I definitely think your reasoning is valid. Like I'm just kind of saying like they're in a playoff spot now. I think if they do end up falling out, he'll drop some spots there, and I think he'll drop the 3 or 4. But I think he takes them to the playoffs. This is just great.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I feel like I should have DeBauer at 4 and at least Tortorella at 3. Might be a little bit too low on Tortorella. And even too like them falling off really wasn't entirely his fault. The team just got freaking tired, but whatever. We won't get into that. The Calder Trophy. So the Calder Trophy is awarded to the best rookie. We're going to go in the same order. Just Jack will go last. So Carter, me, Jack. So Carter, what is your top 5 for the Calder Trophy?
All right. Top 5 for the Calder. So in my 5, I got Luke Hughes. I think he's been an excellent defenseman. He's really kind of helped that defensive core in New Jersey a lot this season. He's looked solid. He's put up a lot of points, especially for a defenseman and a rookie defenseman at that. And his size and his skating ability is one of the best in the National Hockey League, especially at his size. So I kind of put him at number 5 there. Number 4, a rookie who I didn't think I would have here, but Tyson Forrester. He has been absolutely unreal this year. He's second in goals this season, only behind Connor Bedard, obviously. But he has been absolutely unreal this season. I think he's really helped the Flyers and kind of showing that, hey, there's a future here in Philly. So I really like Tyson Forrester. Number 3, I got Logan Cooley, the guy who I thought was going to win the Calder this year. Just really didn't live up to like as high of expectations as I thought he would. But definitely a top 3 rookie this year. Nonetheless, he's looked unreal. Had a hat trick recently too, and he's been a great player for Arizona this season. Number 2, Brock Faber. I feel like no one really thought that he would be this good. But he is absolutely unreal. His skating ability is awesome. The amount of space he creates is just unreal as well. He's put up a lot of points, and he's kind of solidified himself as that future defensive cornerstone piece for the Minnesota Wild. And then number 1, I feel like I don't even have to say it, but it's Connor Bedard. There's nothing to say. He's unreal. Jack's a lucky motherfucker to have him, and he's gross.
Yep, I agree with that. My list, kind of the same as yours, just minus Luke Hughes. He barely missed out on my list. Number 5, I have Tyson Forrester. I think Forrester's been a pleasant surprise, actually. I didn't think Forrester would be this good, but I'm really happy to see it. Very grateful to see Forrester playing this well. Number 4, Logan Cooley. There's Carter with his nice little card there. Logan Cooley at 4. He has been a player who has kind of been not underwhelming necessarily, but had kind of struggles initially with Arizona. But recently, in the second half of the season, he's really picked it up for the Coyotes. So I have him at 4. Number 3, Marco Rossi. Rossi's been through a lot. I think he definitely deserves some recognition being on this list at 3. Number 2, Brock Faber. Big surprise. Been a great backbone defensively as a rookie for the Minnesota Wild for sure. And then finally, number 1, Connor Bedard. Again, shouldn't surprise anyone. I feel like that's the same consensus for all of our lists. Yeah, Connor Bedard. Jack, what is your top 5 for the Calder?
Can a goalie win Calder?
A goalie can win Calder, yes.
I'm confused. You guys left two guys off that I thought you'd have on, that I have on my list too. So
Oh,
number 5, I have Samuel Ersson of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's actually had a pretty good year for a rookie, and I feel like just coming into the league and getting 21 wins like he has right now, it's tough to do as a goalie. Yeah, and then number 4, I have Kochetov of the Carolina Hurricanes. He has
that's a good one too. That's a good
yeah,
one too. I didn't even think about him.
he has 4 shutouts this year. I was shocked when I saw that. He has 4 shutouts. Another thing, tough to get a shutout as a rookie, obviously. And then number 3, I have Marco Rossi of Minnesota. You guys went over it. Good skating ability, and I think he'll be a threat in the future for the Wild, along with Brock Faber. He's also had very good production for them, and honestly, I think this Minnesota team would be terrible without them. And then number 1, I got Connor Bedard.
Yeah, I'm gonna give credit to you. Good job for thinking about Kochetkov and Urson. I thought about Urson, but I didn't put Urson on my list because he's kind of been in the second half of the year. And
Yeah.
I'll say this: we started him a shitload. Like he's played 95% of our games since the All-Star break. So, but I like the picks. I like Kochetkov and Urson being in there. So I like that. That's a good job, Jack. Next up, Vezina trophies. So Vezina trophies awarded to the best goalie. So I'll go to Carter. Carter, what is your top 5 for the Vezina?
All right. I feel like the Vezina has been kind of pretty close this year. Like there hasn't really been very many goalies that have like stood out to me as Vezina caliber. Number 5, I got Vasilevsky. He's one of the best goalies in the world. I feel like I'd have him on my list every single year because he's just that good. Number 4, I got Sergei Bobrovsky. He's really stepped up his game this year, especially after last season, how he was just awful, horrible. And then they started him in playoffs and they kind of rode the hot hand and he was just absolutely unreal. He's kind of picked up where he left off this season and he has been absolutely dominant. Number 3, I got Jeremy Swayman. I think Swayman has been really good for them this year. I think that he has probably outperformed Olmark, but he has looked great nonetheless. He's got a higher save percentage. I think he has more shutouts as well, lower GAA. He has been better than Olmark, I think, in my opinion. And I realistically think that Boston has a huge future with Jeremy Swayman. I think that he should be their number 1 going forward. If he is already, I don't actually know. So I feel like they kind of rotate him and Olmark kind of back and forth, kind of.
I think it's been Swayman for the majority of the year. He's been playing mostly. So
yeah. Number 2, who could honestly also be number 1, Thatcher Demko. He has really helped this Vancouver Canucks team. He's really helped them transform into an actual playoff contender and a great chance to win the cup as well. But he's been really dominant and a big part of why Vancouver has been so good. And then number 1, it's no surprise, it's Connor Hellebuck. This guy has been just unreal this season. He's single-handedly helped carry this Jets team, who has a very, need I say, mid defense. Like we do not have a very good defensive core outside of like Josh Morrissey. But other than that, like he has kept us in games. He's made some huge saves when he's had to. He's unreal. He's the best goalie in the world. I will say that, and I will stand by that till the day I die. But he is the best goaltender in the world right now.
I like the list, Carter. I like the list. My list is similar to yours. Just I actually have a player that's swapped out at number 5. I have Igor Shesterkin at 5. I feel like number 5, like, and even number 4 is kind of a toss up. Like you could put a few guys in number 4 and number 5. Like I mean, there's been a lot of goalies who have been this year. Has been a lot of goalies who've been good. But I think Shesterkin's deserving of number 5. Has been a good starter this year for the Rangers. Has had his points of struggle, which is why he's 5, but still a very effective player there. For those who have noticed, I did change my list from when I did my podcast with LeBlanc. So I did change my list a little bit. Number 4, I have Sergei Bobrovsky of the Florida Panthers. Bobrovsky, a very effective, Russian goalie. Kind of gets underrated at points too, I feel like. Number 3, as Carter said, Jeremy Swayman. Swayman's been a great player, great goalie as well. It's crazy too that they took him to arbitration last year. and he's signed to like $2 million, this man's going to get paid this offseason. He's going to get a lot of money. So, and it's good to see. I want to see Swayman get paid. I thought this last offseason that he should get paid. So, hopefully he does. And there's the card of Swayman. So, number 2, Thatcher Demko. Demko, I think, has had a good year as well, even though he's on LTIR currently. Demko, I think, has played a much larger role in why the Canucks have been one of the teams that's at the top of the Pacific. And then finally, number 1, it's Carter's best friend, Connor Hellebuck, at number 1. So, all right, Jack, what is your top 5 for the Vezina?
All right. Well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolarz of the Florida Panthers. Actually having a very underrated season. Am I looking at the right stats?
Do you mean
no? He's had a good season, Jack. Don't get me wrong. There is no way this guy has played enough games to be Vezina caliber.
Do you mean Bobrovsky?
No, I have Bobrovsky at number 3.
Jack, what are we doing?
Am I looking at the wrong stats or something?
You're looking at the right. I saw him. He's been. Jack, I get it. He's had a top GAA. He has played like under 30 fucking games.
He's a backup.
I know he's a backup. I know that.
All right,
Jack. Listen, hey, I respect you being a stats guy. Look at the games played, my boy.
Hey, still, he's leading in like everything. I was going through it earlier. I was like, holy crap. Yeah, Arvid Soderblom. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like me and Nordic are overreacting a little bit. He has been pretty dominant, but like, he's not Vezina caliber. I'll be honest, he's not.
Think games played was that big of a deal, but I guess it is.
Hey, bro, I'll give you credit for the uniqueness.
Yeah, thank you.
That is the. Dude, Jack, he essentially just gave you a little gold sticker for that shit. Like, that's
award. All right, continue on.
Number 4, I got Thatcher Demko. He's been very good for the Canucks. He also has a very good defense core around him, so that does help him. Number 3, I got Sergei Bobrovsky, who is not the backup of the Florida Panthers.
Dude, hang on, Jack, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you look at NHL.com for the stats?
Well, I did. I was on it earlier.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Because I was looking the other day when I was doing mine. It says at the top for the goalies, it's like minimum 25 games played. He has exactly 25.
25, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense now.
Hey, he's been a good goalie. Don't get me wrong, but like,
they need to start him more.
I wasn't denying that at all.
Why are they not starting him more?
100% for sure. All right, what's the rest? What's the rest?
Number 2, I got Jeremy Swayman. Number 1, I got Connor Hellebuck.
All right, at least you have a good top 2. All right. Oh, your top 3. I'll give you top 4. Actually, I'll give you credit
for top 4.
For
yeah.
Top 4. It's very unique. It's gonna get a lot of comments when this goes public. But hey, I'll give you credit, Jack. I'll give you credit. All right. Anyways, we got 2 more awards. The Norris Trophy now awarded to the best defenseman in the NHL. So Carter, hopefully Neil Pionk's not on your list. But what is your top 5 defensemen?
Oh my gosh, guys! Of course, Pionk's not on my list. All right, number 1, we got Dylan Sandberg. No. Number 5, I got Roman Josi. He's probably one of the more underrated defensemen in the NHL. I feel like a lot of people kind of overrated him a bit, but I feel like the hype on him has kind of died down. He's still been just as good. So I really like Roman Josi. He's a great defensive defenseman. Great on the offensive side too, as well. So he's kind of good on both ways. Number 4, I got Josh Morrissey again. He's still been really good. He's one of the biggest pieces to this Jets defense. He scores. He makes plays. Literally had an assist tonight too. But he is really good on both sides of the puck there. Again, a big reason as to why Hellebuck has also been so dominant as well, because he's helped Hellebuck a lot, because that defensive side of his game is just unmatched. Number 3, I never thought I'd say his name in a Norris ballot ever. Evan Bouchard. Where did this dude come from?
Connor McDavid.
Essentially from Connor McDavid, but still, when you're tied with Cale Makar in points, I don't care if you're playing with Connor McDavid. You are on my ballot. He is. I don't have much to say on Evan Bouchard because I haven't watched that much Edmonton stuff, but I know that he is Connor McDavid made, but he still put up as many points as Cale Makar. Number 2, I have Cale Makar. He's on here every year. He draws so much attention to himself. He's one of the best skaters in the National Hockey League. Not much else to say on Cale Makar. But now my number 1 going to the best skater in the National Hockey League, Quinn Hughes. Again, another big reason as to why Vancouver has been so good this year. It's Quinn motherfucking Hughes. This guy, he's so gross. Like, he is probably the best skater I have ever watched in the National Hockey League, and Gabriel Velarde with a hat trick. He is the best skater I have seen in the National Hockey League, and it's not even close. He is undoubtedly nasty. So, anyways, that's my Norris. But now my heart's gonna have to change because I got to throw Gabriel Velarde in here. Fuck.
Quinn motherfucking Hughes. All right.
So
my top 5 is similar to Carter's. So I have one more change in there. Number 5, I have Evan Bouchard. Bouchard, I think he's been good. He has the same amount of points as Cale Makar. We got to factor in defense. His numbers aren't great defensively, so that's why he's a number 5 for me. Number 4, Noah Dobson. Dobson, I think, has been very good this year. He's been very valuable to the Islanders and why they have even remotely stayed. Well, actually, no. I should put overtime points instead for the Hart Trophy, just number 1 for the Islanders. But anyways, Dobson has been a very solid, effective defenseman for the Islanders. Number 3, I have Adam Fox. I feel like Fox gets underrated a little bit. He's had like kind of a not a down year, but I think he's overshadowed by other guys. I feel like he should be still in the conversation for a Norris Trophy. Number 2, Cale Makar, as Carter mentioned. He's the guy, essentially. And then number 1, I have Quinn Hughes. If there was a year that Quinn Hughes was going to win the trophy, I think it's this year. So, yeah, I have Quinn Hughes number 1. Jack, I'm scared to ask. What is your top 5 for the Norris Trophy?
Well,
oh my god. If Seth Jones is on this list, I'm killing you.
yeah, number 5 is going to be Seth Jones. No, I'm kidding. Number 5 is actually Josh Morrissey. Like you said, he's been a big part of that Jets team for the last 2 years.
Thank you, Jack.
I've been very high on him. Norrisy, I should say.
Thank you, Josh Norrisy. I don't think I said it this time, but I'm glad that Jack did.
Yeah, you forgot it. So
you know what? I forgive you for Stolars now. All right, you're good. You're good.
Thank God. You guys freaked out on me. All right, number 4.
Anyone else would. Even Panthers fans.
Maybe. Jeez.
If we can find them, fuck.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Tell me about it.
Sorry, I'll stop. Sorry.
Number 4 is going to be Adam Fox, like Nordic said. Kind of flown under the radar. It is a good Rangers team, but he's been a very solid defenseman for them this year, and he's definitely one of the top 5 in the league. Number 3, Roman Josi. If you've been watching the Predators the last couple weeks, they just refuse to lose, and Josi has been pretty much the main part of that, just such a solid base on defense. Number 2, Cale Makar, pretty self-explanatory, but he will lose it this year to Quinn Hughes.
Attaboy. All right, so Jack, another solid list. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, and finally, for our final trophy, we have the Hart Trophy awarded to the league's MVP. So, Carter, what is your top 5 for the Hart Trophy, and why is Gabe Velarde won?
Well, I mean, I think you got to look at who's here in the clutch. Like, guy just returned from injury, and like in his 3rd game back or whatever, like that, gets a hat trick. Like, who's doing it like this? No one's doing it like him. So, Gabe Velarde number 1 all day. All right, I'll switch to a more regular. Number 5, I have Artemi Panarin. Shaved his head, and now he is back. The bad vibes, the demons are gone. He is back to looking absolutely unreal. Jack's probably got him at 1 because he's a former Blackhawk, but he has looked absolutely unreal this year. I think he's also been another big part as to why the Rangers have been so dominant. Number 4, Number 4, I have Austin Matthews.
Oh,
I know he's low, but the other 3 I have just been way too good to have them outside of the top 3. But he has been an absolute unreal goal scorer this year. 2 hat tricks in his first 3 games. Unreal start to the season, and he's still been just absolutely unreal. He's kept up that pace, and he is just, he has been absolutely unreal. He's been really dominant this season, and just refuses to not score a goal. Number 3, I have Connor McDavid. He's here every year. He pretty much carries the Edmonton Oilers to the playoffs every year. He is their leading scorer for a reason, and you can't keep him outside of your top 3, even if he starts off the season as slow as he did. He essentially gave the league a chance to catch up to him.
He gave the league like a head start.
He gave the league a head start, and he still could win the Art Ross, which is nuts. Number 2, sorry, I got Nikita Kucherov. He's unreal. Again, he's one of the best goal scorers in the National Hockey League outside of probably Austin Matthews and all those guys. But he has been unreal this season, as always. He really helps carry this team in all ways. And then number 1, I got Nathan MacKinnon. The dude has had 3 different point streaks this season, all of which have put him in the top 5 for longest point streaks this season. He has just been that good. He was on like almost an entire season home point streak, which is nuts. Like not scoring it got broke I think a few games ago, but if you can pretty much go almost an entire season and your name is not called on your home jumbotron, that is ridiculous.
Impressive. Even the other guys on this list,
like
don't come close to that. So
no. Yeah. So he, in my opinion, has really transformed his game this year. I think that he should win the Hart this year.
Winning the cup, he's been unreal. Like I don't even like before that he was still really good, but like ever since winning the cup, he's been freaking unbelievable.
He's completely changed his game, and he's gross. I got Nathan MacKinnon. That is my Hart winner. Right. I will say though, I feel so bad having to keep Austin Matthews outside of my top 3, but the other 3, I can't. Like, they're almost all at 130 points. What do you want me to do? There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I agree. My top 5 is similar to Carter's. Number 5, I have Austin Matthews. Yeah, I have Matthews at 5. I look, Matthews has had a really good year, but I feel like there are other players who have been more valuable to their teams than Matthews has been to the Maple Leafs. Leaf fans ain't gonna like that, but it's the truth. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to say it, Leaf fans. Number 4, I have David Pastrnak. I think it really goes unnoticed with how valuable he's been to the Boston Bruins. Without Pastrnak, this team is not a playoff team. Hands down, they're not. So Pasternak's been absolutely carrying them offensively. He's been really good defensively. So I think he should be at least in the top 5 for Hart picks. Number 3, Connor McDavid, as Carter pretty much said, like he gave the league a head start, basically. So, I mean, he's been great. He'll be in the conversation every year for the next 10 years. Number 2, Nikita Kucherov. Could be argued for single-handedly carrying the Lightning into a wild card spot, essentially. I would not disagree with you there. And number 1, Nathan MacKinnon, who the home streak alone should have him be number 1. So Nathan MacKinnon, number 1. And last but not least, Jack, what is your Hart Trophy ballot?
All right. Number 5, I have David Pastrnak. Just his straight-up goal-scoring ability is just incredible to watch. And that's what makes me put him at number 5. Number 4, I have Austin Matthews. Same with him, his goal-scoring ability. If he could just rack up the assists a little more, he would definitely be a lot higher on this list.
Just a puck hawk.
Yeah. Number 3, Connor McDavid. I think you both had him at number 3.
We did. Yep.
It just wasn't his year. Little bit of injury. and then a little bit of a slow start to the season for McDavid.
I mean, he could still win it, but
He definitely
for
could
sure.
still win it. And then number 2, I have Nathan McKinnon. You both have him at 1. I have him at 2, and I actually have Kucherov winning the Hart Trophy this year.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I think honestly, even though we really were high on McKinnon, you could really argue Kucherov won. So
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I don't disagree with you. I feel like either one could do it.
Anyone in the top 3 realistically has a chance at the Hart. Like, I don't think there's a clear cut number 1. I think any of those 3 you put at the Hart, and I will not argue with you.
Yeah, I think a lot of the other awards are kind of like, your number 1, pretty much. But with the Hart, there's 3 or 4 guys that you could say, yeah, they could win it. So the Hart's fun this year. It's been really fun. But yeah, those are our ballots for the each trophy, highlighted by Anthony Stolarz. Very good list, guys. I like your guys' list a lot. We're gonna move into games. We got some 50th episode great games here. We have 4, so we're gonna start off with Jack's guest supplier. Last week I went 0-1, so that was not fun. But I have reinforcements today with Carter returning for his first episode. Jack, have you thought of your player?
I have.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna give it to Carter. Carter, what's your first question?
Last time I was feeling good, and then I hit a slow start. So we're gonna hit the ground running by saying, Jack, is your player in the Western Conference?
Nope.
Okay, we're gonna start slow and we're gonna get hot. That's all it is.
Here we go. All righty, Roo. Jack, is your player in an Atlantic division?
He is.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You move down to the Atlantic, so
Move to the Atlantic. Jack, let me just quickly ask you a question here, buddy.
All right.
Does your player play on a Canadian team?
No.
All right, well that fucking blows.
That's quite unfortunate. Wait, Cardi might have just fucked us. Oh wait, narrows it down to 5.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I should have went color, like logo. That's okay.
Yeah, you kind of screwed me here because wait, is there 5 or is there 4?
There's
Why
5.
can't I-
Buffalo, Detroit, Tampa, Florida, Boston.
Oh,
You could just say if they play in Florida. I mean, that narrowed it down to 3 teams.
Jack. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Jack, does your player play on a Florida team?
Yes, he does.
Let's go!
I saved you, Carter.
Hey, no, but I was gonna guess that, but I'm like, oh shoot, there's only 2 teams.
All
Okay,
right, get the team. Just try and
Jack,
get the
does
team.
your player play for Florida?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Down to Florida.
Get
The Rock.
position. Get position here.
Is it Anthony? No, this is not my question.
Oh.
Could it be Anthony Stolarz? No way.
Is that your guess?
No, that's not my guess. I was just saying, could it be Anthony Stolarz? It wasn't my guess. I was just saying that as a joke. Why are you looking at me like that? All right, Carter, ask your. It's up to me.
It's your question, motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right. Jack, is your player a forward?
Yes.
All right. That eliminates Anthony Stolarz out of the question.
Oh
That
God.
would've If you picked Anthony Stolarz, oh my
That would have
god!
been great. I would have loved that. I should have done that.
Nah, we would have gotten that immediately.
Actually, yeah. The last time I did goalie, that didn't go well. So.
Yeah, no. All right. Final guess for Carter Rochelle.
You're starting.
Oh, I'm starting? Okay, all right. All right, we're gonna.
I feel like I got my guy.
Jack, is your player Sam Bennett?
No.
All right. I have. Was that your guy, Carter?
Nope.
Okay, good. All right. So I've succumbed. I've lost.
Okay.
Save us.
I don't think he went Barkov. That's pretty obvious. Okay, we know it's not Bennett. I don't think he'd go Reinhardt because he's been kind of balling out.
Think about a deadline player. He might have won a deadline player.
No, he definitely didn't. I know exactly who he went with.
Oh, buddy.
It's definitely not him, but maybe. Okay. Could it be Okposo too? Maybe. I don't know.
He was a deadline player.
He was.
Making sure that works.
There's no like I don't think oh fuck, could it be? If it's the other guy that I was gonna say, I'm gonna be pissed. Jack, is your player Vladimir Tarasenko?
Yes.
Yeah! Let's go!
Yes!
Yes!
It was a deadline player.
Carter just knocked over his chair. Yeah,
Let's fucking go!
Yes, sir.
Nice
All
job,
right.
guys. Nice job.
Thank you, Jack. Good job being a good sport. Good job.
I was originally gonna go Nick Cousins, but
Oh.
and then I saw Tarasenko.
Yep.
Oh, yes,
Ow, my
sir.
hand!
Tarasenko.
Hey, all right. We're 1-1. We're doing okay.
Let's go. We're 500.
500.
It's probably the best record we'll have throughout the
I'm
season.
going to get fucking ice.
All right. While Carter gets ice, I'm going to explain the next game that we have going on. So, you guys have to name the teams that have an animal in their logo.
Ooh.
So, there is actually one team on here that I am going to say they actually don't have they don't have an animal in their logo now, but they did in the past. So you kind of have to think back there. It really shouldn't be too difficult. But regardless, that is what the game is. All right, Carter, it's your turn. We'll get into it.
Ouchies.
Carter got his ice. He's okay. All right, Carter, here's the game. You have to try and name the teams that have an animal in their logo. I'm going to time you and see how long you can do it.
Do I have to do it? What about Jack?
You and Jack have to do it together.
Animal?
Yeah, animal. All right.
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, we got Canucks out of the way. I feel like we can get Canada out. It's literally just Canucks.
Panthers.
All right, Canucks is one. Yep.
Panthers is one. Wild counts as one.
Wild is one.
Predators.
Predators.
Are we counting Kraken?
Yeah.
No Kraken.
No Kraken.
Um,
Okay, we got Coyotes.
Not animal.
Coyotes.
Coyotes.
Coyotes is
Sharks.
5. We got 2 more.
Sharks. Penguins.
Bang! Let's go, baby!
In 28 seconds. That's
Dang. That's
Oh boy!
Damn, pretty impressive. Wow. All right.
I'm surprised it's not that many.
It really isn't. I thought that Anaheim. I should have put Anaheim in there too. I should have did name and logo, but
I got one for you boys.
Oh, okay.
So this, if you might have seen it on TikTok, but I feel like this one could end up actually being pretty easy. So I might change this to I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds, and if you're not getting it, I'll up it to a minute. But I'm gonna start with 30 seconds. You guys have 30 seconds to name me an NHL team that has one color in their logo.
Oh my God. Detroit.
Nope, they got white in it.
Yeah, they have white.
Calgary. No.
Nope. You're literally wearing the jersey.
Oh my God. No, I used to. No, I saw this too. My dad asked me this question. Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa Bay Lightning's one. Lightning's one.
There it is. That's it. That's the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. I thought there was more than one. All right. Cool.
No, I'm pretty sure there's only one.
Okay. Good. All right.
Good job.
Awesome. Okay. So the next one we're doing, Jack did one of these when we did our deadline preview a few times ago. Remember, Jack? Remember when you had to rank overtime losses or overtime wins?
Yeah.
With certain teams. So basically, I got 6 teams here, not 8 this time, trying to rank them from 1 to 6. So You have to try and rank, and this is for Carter. You have to try and rank these teams based on the amount of Stanley Cup final appearances. So I'm going to send you your teams currently. You have no time limit. You got to rank them from 1 to 6. So the advantage you have here is that there are 2 that are interchangeable. So there are 2 that they have the same amount, so they can be intertwined between each other. So that's good news for you there. So Carter, I sent you your teams. Feel free to start whenever. Jack, I'm going to send you your teams for yours. It's not the same thing.
Okay.
After Carter.
Okay. So the Panthers, I think, have only been to two or two.
I
feel like
would start at 1 and go down to 6. That's what I would try to do.
I'm just trying to think here. Okay, I'm gonna go Leafs at 1. Okay. Leafs at 1 because they have the most cups out of any of these teams. I'll go Leafs 1. We're gonna go Leafs, Canes, Islanders, Panthers, Blues, Preds.
Okay. All right. Carter, how do you think you did?
Bad.
Yeah, that was not great.
Fuck.
That was not great. Toronto, you got right. Toronto at 1, you got correct. That was pretty obvious.
Yes.
I did that for Jack too, where I put like a few original 6 teams in, so that way like it's not that difficult. Number 2 was way off. Number 2 is the Islanders. The Islanders had 5 finals appearances. I feel like you would have gotten that one because they won 4 cups.
I said Islanders, did I not?
You said Hurricanes too.
Oh, fuck me.
All right, so yeah, you said Hurricanes at 2. The Islanders were actually at 2 with 5. You also got number 3 incorrect. You had St. Louis is supposed to be at 3 with 4 finals appearances. You forget that they appeared in a couple in the early, 1970s. That's when they were in a few ones. Florida, you got right. So Florida was at 4. You got that correct.
The Canes really not been in that many?
Carolina's been in 2.
Shit, I thought that they had been in 4. I was being stupid, I guess. Honestly.
You would think that like with Hartford they maybe be in more, but nope. Hartford never made a cup final. So Carolina's only been in 2, 2002 and 2006. That's it. And then number 1 you got correct as well, Nashville. So you went
50%, baby.
50%, 3 for 6. So
yes.
Good job, Carter. I'll give it to you.
Hey, right, think about it. If that's my batting average, that's unreal. If that's my goal scoring average, that's unreal. That's a test average. That's shitty, but we're gonna pretend it's not.
Yeah, unreal bad. All right, I just snapped Jack, so our snap streak keeps going. But Jack, you got your teams. You have to try and rank these teams based on the amount of playoff appearances all time. So not cup final appearances, playoff appearances. So
all right,
I gave you a nice one in there.
Okay.
See the next one in there?
All right. Number 1, I'm going to go Blackhawks.
Hey, that was a nice one. So, there you go.
I know that's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to go Kings. Number 3, I'm going to say the Ducks.
Is this real?
Okay.
Whew. 4, I would go Jets.
Nord, I don't know if this is real or not, but Coyotes might have a new arena.
What does it say? Well, I saw something that they put the
Arizona posted it.
The post has been deleted.
No, Pagnotta retweeted it as well. This might be real. Arizona's staying in the desert.
Hang on, Jack. Finish your ranking, and then we'll get into that.
Okay, number 5 Senators, number 6 Panthers.
Okay, all right, Jack. How do you think you did?
I think I may have switched up the Jets and Senators, but that's it. Otherwise, I think I'm good.
You didn't do terrible. Number 1, Chicago. Chicago has literally 63 playoff appearances, so you did well there. Number 2, you got right as well, Los Angeles. They had 32 appearances.
Okay.
Then you got number 3 wrong. You were supposed to have Ottawa with 16. You had Anaheim with 14. You were just barely off. Unlucky there, but it's all right.
Man.
Number 4, you also got wrong. And you might be surprised because you might be thinking of the old Winnipeg Jets, but the Jets are actually 6th. They're last on this.
Really?
They've only been in the playoffs 7 times.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you think about it, it might not seem like a lot for the amount of time they were around, but with the Thrashers, they only made it once, and then the Jets haven't been around. The Jets have been around for like 12 years, so it's kind of shocking there. But yeah, number 4 was supposed to be Anaheim with 14. Number 5 was Florida with 9, and then number 6 was Winnipeg. So
Okay.
I think you actually went 2 for 6.
Oh,
Oops.
jeez.
Yeah,
I was one off on everything.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's okay. It's okay, Jack. All right, so this is the first time, and I'm pulling it up right now. Unless you want to read it,
I have the info. So they haven't.
We have breaking news here on the NordCast.
Yeah, this is real.
One of the first times this has happened. It looks like the Arizona Coyotes have found a new arena home. So Carter,
potentially.
Carter, information.
So pretty much what it is the Coyotes. So Frank Saravalli tweeted this. He said the Yotes issue a statement saying they intend to win the state land auction and are committed to Arizona. So they're planning on winning this state auction for this land. The auction is not scheduled. It's scheduled on June 27th. So they want to stay in Arizona. So I think their plan is, so they haven't fully committed to it yet, because they can't, because the auction hasn't started. But their plan is to stay in Arizona. So that's their hope. But he also said, not pouring cold water on release, but remember, they intended to win a Tempe referendum too. Let's see what happens between now and June 27th. But then they also released on their the Coyotes social media the videos of their renderings for what they want kind of that area to entail. And it looks pretty sweet from like the video that I was looking at. It's not going to be just an arena. There's going to be a bunch of buildings and stuff, probably hotels and everything like that. It looks really, really beautiful. So we'll have to see how that goes. But the Coyotes are committed to staying in Arizona. It's just going to be a matter of if they get the land or not.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Carter Richaud.
Insider trading. That's it.
Trading Carter Richaud. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, let's hope they stay in Phoenix. I mean, the ironic thing is we talked about earlier on in the freaking podcast, like 40 minutes ago, that we were we said that they will, but they might relocate. So hey, I will watch the video. I will get stuff out there. We will get this out there. We'll get our thoughts on there. One more thing that I want to say before we wrap up this episode: the Winnipeg Jets have clinched a playoff spot. So congrats to Carter.
Woo! Let's go! We're back! I said Jets are winning the cup, and I meant it!
Hope you're right.
We're not fucking winning shit.
Additionally, the Calgary Flames have been eliminated from the playoffs. So,
Yes.
ironic no more in Calgary. So, yeah, that's all I got. That's all we got for episode number 50 of the NordCast. We want to say from me, Carter, and Jack, thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for listening to all these episodes the whole way through. It's been an amazing run that we've been on these last couple of months, and I could not be more grateful to be doing it with these guys and doing it overall. So, yeah, that'll do it for episode number 50. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe down below. That would be greatly appreciated. If you're on the audio end of things, give us a good review. Tell your friends. If you want to follow the NordCast Instagram, follow at NordCast_. If you want to follow the TikTok, follow at NordCast_ as well. We have a very special guest coming on for episode number 51, so you don't want to miss it. But regardless, thank you all for watching or listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Adios.